we will be seeing Ephesus, the best well-preserved ancient city in the entire country. So you should have high expectations with the site, not with the tour guide. And Ephesus today has a lot to offer us in terms of antiquity. We'll be seeing ruins, reconstructions, Greek and Roman. And yet you're in Turkey. Right? Have you ever seen a map of Turkey?
Yeah.
Would you like to see another one?
Yes.
Here you are. This is Turkey, everybody. A peninsula. Well, it's size-wise, to give you an idea, Turkey is almost as big as Texas. So it's a big country. A peninsula heading from east to west. And on this Turkey map, we're here. Southwest of Turkey. The name of this town is Kusadasi. Kusadasi. And that means Bird Island. Used to be a small fishing village until the 60s. Then it was discovered it had a huge potential for tourism. And obviously, due to its location right very close to Ephesus, very close to the house of Mother Mary. And the climate is beautiful here year-round. We have minimum 300 days of sunshine here. And these facts helped Kusadasi to develop pretty quickly. Today, the winter population is 100,000, where in July and August, it goes all the way up to 1 million here. Not only with the travelers, you, our guests, not only with the Turkish people who live in big cities and they have vacation homes here, summer homes, but also with the expatriates living in Kusadasi. For the last 10 years, officially, foreigners do have the right to purchase properties in Turkey. And we have many neighbors from the UK, from Holland, Belgium, Germany. Russians started buying a lot of properties for the last 5 years. We know Russians, they buy for the climate, obviously, right? It's a little cold up there in Russia. Europeans, they buy not only for the climate, they also believe it's a good investment for themselves. Maybe you're familiar with the fact with Turkey that our governments, they've been running negotiations with the European Union to become a member. And everybody's all convinced. Once Turkey is going to be a part of the EU, then we will no longer stay with lira. The Turkish lira, which is our currency today, will be converted into the euros they have. And that day all prices will double up in Turkey. This is in fact how it has happened in Portugal, Spain, Italy and Greece. Tripled, she says. So that's why they think it's a good investment for themselves today. Just 55 miles in the north of Kusadasi, we have the third biggest city in Turkey, my home city, Izmir, the best city in Turkey, I-Z-M-I-R. And when I tell you the ancient name of Izmir, that may also ring a bell. It was the famous city of Smyrna, which was the second of the 7 churches of Revelation after Ephesus. Ephesus is number 1. In fact, all of those 7 churches of Revelation are located in the western part of today's Turkey. Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamum, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, Laodicea. They're all in today's Turkey. Izmir, Smyrna was the birthplace of someone famous in history. Birthplace of Homer. One who wrote the famous Iliad and Odyssey was born in Smyrna. And today we have a population of 4 million in Izmir. That 4 million is considered to be the most westernized thinking and open-minded community in the entire country. The second biggest city in Turkey has a population of 5 million and it's our capital, Ankara. When I tell you the ancient name of Ankara, that may also ring a bell. It was the famous city of Angora. Maybe you're familiar with fine quality mohair we extract from goats. Those goats were originally domesticated in our capital, Ankara. That's where we have the mausoleum of Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, the founder of modern Turkey. You might have heard of his name, or this morning you might have seen him right across the port on top of the hill with a statue standing. Who did great things for the country, for the people? 1923, which was right after World War I, and that in fact turned out to be the end of an empire named the Ottomans. He founded the Republic of Turkey. Then he enacted secularism in Turkey. Turkey is a secular country. Gave our women, the Turkish women, the rights to vote and to be voted in 1934. Which is not as early as in the United States, but believe me, it is still earlier than some of the European countries. To give you an idea, Switzerland, you know Switzerland, there the women got these rights in 1971. So we consider him, Ataturk, was visionary. Okay. The biggest city in Turkey is, of course, Istanbul, aka Constantinople. Beautiful city, a phenomenal city, with a very exceptional location on Earth. Istanbul is the only city settled on 2 continents. Half of Istanbul is in Asia and the other half in Europe. In fact, like that was 4 months ago, I was there with my family, and believe it or not, but I drove from Asia all the way to Europe in 2 minutes. At 3:30 a.m. in the morning. I mean, if you intend to do that in a rush hour, daytime, 2 hours to cross the Bosphorus Bridge. Why? The traffic is fantastic there. Just the number of school buses in Istanbul is 50,000. Population over 20 million.
Wow.
Big city, hectic. Beautiful highlights, in fact, to be seen in all downtown area like Hagia Sophia, Grand Bazaar, the Blue Mosque, Topkapi Palace. Really beautiful places to be seen. So starting with the European half of Istanbul, then all the way to the northwest borders where we touch Greece and Bulgaria, it's a tiny portion of Turkey. 3% is in Europe, and the rest of Turkey is in Asia. Did you know you were about to step on Asia this morning? This is Asia. You're no longer in Europe. But a very special part of Asia, it's not because I'm from here, but the Asian part of Turkey is known as Asia Minor. Maybe you're familiar with the expression the cradle of civilizations. Locals you meet today in Turkey are kind of extensions of former civilizations in history, like the famous Hittites, Lydians, Phrygians, Greeks, Romans, the Byzantine, Selçuklu Turks, and the Ottomans. And if you notice, I mentioned the Turks with the very last 2 in the row, Selçuklu Turks and the Ottomans, which obviously means Turks were not originally from Turkey. They did come from somewhere else. Any idea? I mean, not Mars or Jupiter, right? Still somewhere on Earth. Any guess? Pakistan?
Ephesus.
Caucasus?
Pakistan.
Okay. Well, you're close. Not very close, but you're close. A land named Mongolia. Mongolia.
Wow.
Our forefathers were nomads. You know nomads? Moving from one place to another constantly and carrying their homes, tents, right? They were living in tents, on top of their horses. And they were shaman, and due to their faith, their primary intention was to chase the source of life, which was the sun for them. So they kept chasing the sun towards the sunrise, east. So imagine after a while, all Turkish tribes, they started penetrating into their neighbor's land, China, which made the Chinese very upset. They had to find a permanent solution to keep the Turks out of China. They found it, however, it took them a while to build it. The Great Wall of China was built to keep the Turks out of China. And you know what Turks did then? They turned around, they started marching towards sunset this time, west, so they ended up their journey in today's Turkey. I'm sure they were impressed, not only with the deep and rich history and culture of earlier civilizations, but also with her prosperity. I don't know what you think so far, but this is such a prosperous, such a fertile land. In this case, I should emphasize the economy in Turkey is based on agriculture and animal husbandry. Animal husbandry, I'm talking about goats, but mainly sheep and lamb. Big numbers, big numbers. Interesting fact, the population of Turkey is 80 million, 82 million. The number of sheep in Turkey is 82 million. So we have 1 person per sheep. So the number of sheep in Turkey enabled my home city, Izmir, Smyrna, becoming today the leading leather manufacturer in the world. So, agriculture, you saw orchards on the way, I believe. This area, we're known for wine, the famous Ephesian wine. We still have very good wine here. We have olives everywhere, and the olive oil. Mandarin oranges, peaches, quinces, and pomegranates. Industrial crops, mostly corn here. We have corn. However, bigger than corn, we grow the famous Turkish tobacco. Maybe you're familiar with the cigarettes, Camel cigarettes. It says Turkish blend. Thumbs up for Turkish tobacco, it's very good. It kills if you smoke. But it kills you happily. It's such a good tobacco. And the top of the line with the industrial crops we grow here is the famous Turkish coffee. Is a good guess, but you know, we're known for Turkish coffee. However, we import coffee beans from Yemen or from Brazil. We don't grow coffee beans in Turkey. We're known as, remember, fine carpets? Fine carpets? Rugs, okay. For the last 5 decades, maybe 6 decades, the whole world appreciates the quality of fine Turkish towels. Turkish towels, right? Turkish linens, Turkish bed sheets. So number one industrial crop we grow here is cotton. Cotton. Yes.